Over 30 seasons ago, the Premier League was founded, and one of those teams that was a founder of the Premier League was Oldham Athletic. However, since that league began, Oldham spent 2 whole seasons in it and then have found themselves relegated all the way down into non-league football, currently residing in the Vanarama National League. And I have set myself a challenge. 10 seasons in charge of Oldham, and we are going to be getting them back to the Premier League, where they, I was going to say belong, maybe not belong, where they started. First of all, the good things about Oldham Athletic, they have a very big stadium in the shape of Boundary Park, 13,500 seater stadium. For non-league football is absolute madness. They're also a professional club, which is obviously very helpful when you're playing in non-league, because it means people don't have to be plumbers and carpenters on the weekend. The downside is we've got no money. We've technically got £607,000 in the bank, but we've got no transfer budget. We've got no wage budget. In fact, we're over our wage budget. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting time in charge of Oldham. So what are our objectives for the first season in charge of Oldham Athletic? Well, number one is get ourselves out of the Vanarama National League. Now, I'm not convinced we are necessarily going to do it in this first season, but the board want us to get to playoffs. I want us to get to playoffs. Ideally, we get promoted, but the Vanarama National League is obviously a very difficult one to get out of. As for the cups, I don't care, okay? Obviously, an FA Cup run would be great, especially if we get some into the third round and we get a nice big Premier League side away from home. That'll be amazing. However, I can't see us getting too far in this competition right now. And the FA Trophy, I'd love to win it, but nobody cares about this. We have already locked in our tactic, and we're going to play this over the next 10 seasons, because I'm not very good at tactics. So what we've done is we picked up a tactic from GYR, and I picked up one that I thought was kind of interesting, and not really a standard tactic. So it is a 3-4-1-2, maybe. That's what we're going to call it. It is the Iron Man formation. There is a link in the description below. But this is what we're going to go with, and looking at the players we've got here, we need to do a little bit of investing. We need to bring in some inverted wingers on the right and the left, in particularly on the left, because our best inverted winger, who is at Dickinson, is currently on loan at Hartlepool. We also probably need to get rid of some of the high earners in our squad. We've got 2 players who are on £2,500 a week, and both of them are over the age of 32. Joe Garner, is 35 years of age. Although he's obviously very good, he's 35 and he's on £2,500 a week. We can use that money better elsewhere. Right, we're now going to jump forward to the 1st of September, where I was going to say the transfer window will be closed, but we're in non-league, so I don't think we technically have a transfer window. But my plan is to get all of our transfer business finished by the 1st of September, so we should have, in theory, a nice full squad by the time we get to that point. Obviously, with money being very tight down in the non-league football area, we have had to do a little bit of transfer business to get some money into the club. Mike Fondop is actually the only player who's left the club on a permanent deal. He has gone over to Cameroon to sign for Canon Yuande, that might be their name. Has he ever played in Cameroon? I feel like he hasn't. He's not. He's gone basically over to Cameroon just to play the last few years of his football. He's gone for actually a little bit of money as well. £6,500, potentially going up to 11.25. We did have to pay £130 to some guy in Cameroon to get him over there, but that's fine. 3 players have joined the club, and we have focused solely on those winger positions realistically. Kyron Wiltshire is the first one, 26-year-old right winger, signed formerly of St Albans, Oxford City, St Neots, Bishop Stortford, Staines. Basically, he's a non-league journeyman, I think is what you'd like to say. Never played in league football. He's already played 4 times for us, getting a goal and an assist. We have reinvested the Fondop money into James Brophy, 29 years of age, left winger, left back as well, if we really need him to be. He has cost us probably too much money, £11,250. Apparently we've had to pay an intermediate fee. I don't know why we've had to do that, but there we are. Yeah, so we've we brought in Brophy from Cambridge. I think that's a good player to bring in. And the final player to join has joined on a loan deal until the end of the season. It is Ryan Glover, 22 years of age. I brought him in purely because he can play literally any position on the pitch, apart from as a centre-back. He's not very good, okay? He's not very good, but we are in non-league football, so probably good enough to play for us. And at 22, he's obviously got a fair few seasons left ahead of him. We might look to bring him in on a permanent deal. If this goes well, he's come in from Aldershot. He's costing us about £15,000 to loan him for the season, so we're going to make sure we actually get some game time out of him, because otherwise we might just be wasting this money. And obviously this is the formation, and we are going to be locking in 2 players into those positions. It is Brophy and it is Glover. That is all we are going to do, making sure Glover plays on that right-hand side, because if we don't, I think they want to play him on the left for some reason. I much prefer him on that right-hand side, and then we've got Brophy who can play on that left-hand side instead, which kind of makes the system work a little bit better. The other player I want to draw your attention to is Andrew Dallas. He is on loan from Barnsley. This was done before I joined the club. He is on loan from Barnsley, and I think he's going to have a very good season for us. He's already got a goal so far. I think he's probably our best player, if not our best striker anyway, but I think we're going to see big things from Andrew Dallas. Obviously, the season has kicked off as well on the 1st of September. We are 6 games in, 2 wins, 3 draws, 1 defeat to our name. We've beaten Solihull Moors and Halifax, so we've started off all right. I mean, we should probably take a look, actually, at the season preview. We're expected to finish 3rd. I'd like, if we can finish 3rd, that would be very good. If we can finish 1st or 2nd, that would be even better. Well, without further ado, let's jump forward then. We're going to go to the end of January once again because we don't have transfer windows. I'm going to kind of hope that my transfer business is done by that point. There might be some more that take place between September and the end of January anyway, but obviously, I'll tell you all about them. 2nd of February, and we haven't done any transfer business at all because pretty much we have no money to do any business. We're well over our wage budget. We're just eating into this, what was £600,000. It is now £340,000 in the bank. So yeah, we are slowly but surely getting rid of money, which is not ideal, but we are doing quite well in the league. After 32 games, yes, we are not top of the table. We are 2nd in the table. We are, what is that? 3 plus 5, 8 points. That's what it is behind Chesterfield, who are currently top, but Chesterfield were favourites. Alex Reid is currently the top goal scorer in the league, which is pretty good going. He's also got the best average rating. He's also got the 2nd most assists. We are scoring a lot of goals. You probably spotted there as well in the FA Cup and the FA Trophy. We've been knocked out of both of these competitions. We got to the 2nd round and lost against Reading, which I think was at home as well, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it was at home, so we didn't really get much kind of extra money coming in for that, which is not ideal, but there we are. And in the FA Trophy, getting knocked out in the 3rd round by Chesterfield. But Chesterfield, as we know, currently top of the table. When we actually scroll forward, in the 5th round, Curzon Ashton, who are our feeder club, who are in the league below, have managed to get 2 further rounds than us. So we're supporting Curzon Ashton, that's what they're called. Briefly looking at the results, we have had some pretty good wins, but we've also had some pretty bad defeats. So losing 4-0 against Bromley does not look good, does it? But beating Dorking 7-3, beating Hartlepool 4-2, but then also losing to them 2-1, beating Gateshead 5-3, lots of high-scoring games going on. But then obviously we're losing games like Solihull Moors, losing against Hartlepool, losing against Woking, Bromley, things like that. When we don't score, this is going to sound obvious, but when we don't score, we lose. We don't seem to draw too many 0-0, apart from that one against Barnet, which was on TV. Amazing. Right then, let's jump forward to the end of the season. We are doing no changes to our formation or tactics, so it's still sticking with Brophy and Glover on the wings, but that is it. Everyone else, it is up to the assistant manager who he wants to play there, and he's kind of doing a good job. We're up in 2nd. Well, would you look at that? On the 6th of May, we've finished 3rd place in the table, but we have won the playoffs, apparently. Beating Bromley 3-1 in the final by the looks of it. So we skipped the 1st round, Bromley beating Fylde, and then Gateshead beating Solihull Moors. And then we beat Gateshead 5-3, Bromley winning 1-0, and then in the final way, 3-1 win against Bromley, giving us promotion back to the Football League. Brophy on a 7.8. Cookson getting an 8.0 in that attacking midfield role. This formation, I think, is pretty good. It's a pretty good formation. I'm going to draw your attention to 5 key performers for us this season. James Brophy being one of them, picking up 12 assists and 5 goals in all competitions. I say all competitions. We didn't do much in the FA Cup or the FA Trophy, but for the money that we paid for Brophy, which seemed steep at the time, I feel like we've got our money's worth out of Brophy. We've got promoted back to the Football League. Similarly, on the other flank, Ryan Glover has done pretty well for us. 15 assists, 4 goals. He is obviously leaving us at the end of the season. I might try and bring him in next season, but I feel like now we've got promoted, we can get better quality players rather than Ryan Glover. The only thing that makes me want to bring him back is the fact that he's only 23, and he's obviously going to hopefully develop a little bit more over the next couple of seasons. But hopefully over the next couple of seasons as well, we'll develop as a team and we might outgrow him before he's maybe like 27. Now, I called him out at the start of the season as one of our high earners, and he's now just turned 33. I say just, he turned 33 in September, but James Norwood managed to get 14 goals and 3 assists. 12 of those goals were in the Vanarama National League. He was our 3rd top goal scorer of the season. Andrew Dallas as well managed to pick up a lot of goals. I had high hopes for Dallas, and he has certainly done pretty well for us. 26 goals, 9 assists in all competitions. I don't know whether we can try and make this a permanent deal. I'm not even convinced we've got like an option because this was done before we joined the club. So I feel like we might be losing Andrew Dallas, which is kind of annoying. But the man of the hour, the best player that we had, was somebody I wasn't really convinced was going to do it particularly well for us, and that is Alex Reed. 30 goals, 12 assists. That is 42 goal contributions in 40 and a bit games, because he's come off the bench once apparently. 3 goals in the FA Cup and an assist, 27 in the league. Top goal scorer in the league as well. He's not top goal scorer, he's second. Harry Cardwell got 28. How dare you, Harry? I thought while we're here, we'd just do a quick check on Curzon Ashton. They got knocked out in the 5th round by Eastbourne Borough. It was eventually won by no one. It's not been played yet. Fair enough. Well, Season 1 is out of the way then with our Oldham side, and we've already ticked off one of the promotions that we need to do. We now need to get from League 2 to League 1, League 1 to the Championship, and then the Championship to the Premier League. So just 3 more promotions over 9 seasons, and we'll be back where we want to be with this Oldham Athletics side. Next season, we just need to survive. We genuinely just need to survive. If we look at the squad, we've got a lot of people whose contracts will be expiring. Obviously, we've got some loan deals, but some other players as well. Financially, we're in kind of a better position. We've got a bigger wage budget, which is always handy, but bigger wage budget, higher league means we have to spend more money on better players to keep us in those leagues. So it's going to be a summer recruitment session where we're going to hopefully bring in a lot of new faces that are hopefully going to get this Oldham side to be better. And then maybe we can look to... We just need to survive. We just need to survive.